Hello coin collectors out there, welcome back to the Big D Coins channel. As always, I hope you are having a great day, and I've got a great video lined up for you today. So in today's video, we're going to talk about kind of a often overlooked decade as far as the Washington quarters. As you noticed by the title, it's going to be about the 1980s, in particular the 1989 Denver Mint Washington quarter. Now, why are the 1980s overlooked? Well, there wasn't much exciting going on in the 1980s. The few previous decades, 1964, that brought us the end of the silver coin. So 1964 is the last year that you can come across a silver coin. The 1965, of course, had that copper nickel clad that they've been using all the way until today's date. 1970s brought us the bicentennial quarters. So 1975 as well as 1976, we had bicentennial quarters. Those were fun. Those were exciting for coin collectors. Those got a lot of people into the hobby. And then what reintroduced a lot of people was the state quarter series, which they brought us in the 1990s. You noticed we didn't discuss the 1980s at all because not much was happening in that month. So that's why I've got this 1989. We'll talk about the mintages of this a little bit later. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback about the reintroduction of more foreign coins to the Big D Coins channel. Some people like the foreign coins at the end of the channel, so I made some separate foreign coin videos as well. So we'll add these ones on right here to the end of today's video, so stick around to the end if you want to learn about the Bahamas 1 cent coin. So we've got a large Bahamas 1 cent coin dated 1968 and a more modern one right here. Flip it over so you can see the 1 cent. Now, it must have cost them an absolute fortune to produce these coins right here. The 1 cent coins, these have a very nice design to them. They look like they're made out of a little bit more of a heftier metal content, and they are larger. So it must have cost them multiples of 1 cent to produce these, but it looks like they came around and started to making kind of a more cheap coin. So it's nice for us coin collectors to get one of these fancy ones, one of the older ones, but they're now using this more modern one. So let's bring back this 1989 Denver Mint Washington quarter. And before we get into the real details, the price of this coin, the mintage era coins related to this, I want to give a special shout out to a few different people that have been commenting on my videos lately. Special shout out to Coin Collecting Fun, as always. I love to see his comments. He's been watching my videos for probably 2 years or so. He's got his own channel that's going quite strong as well. He's got over 2,000 subscribers. He has a lot of fun producing his videos, and he makes some great coin collecting videos. Also thank you to Danny P, who said he really enjoyed that Benjamin Franklin coin that he saw in my 1946 wheat penny. So I showed off a Benjamin Franklin token from the Ben Franklin Museum. It's about the same metal content and shape as a United States penny. And third and finally, special thank you to Chris Vellner. Chris Vellner commented that he's been picking through World Coins as local coin shop lately. He finds it very interesting. He recently picked up a 5 euro cent from Ireland and a 2 euro cent from Greece. So my advice, if you're interested in these foreign coins, if they interest you, head down to your local coin shop. Even if you don't have too much money to spare, you can get some real great foreign coins. The foreign coins that we look at, like these two right here, are both 1 cent each in their local currency, and I think these ones might actually be pegged to United States dollars. So most of the foreign coins that we talk about are just the pennies, the nickels, the dimes of foreign countries. Some of them have been demonetized, so you can't even spend them anymore. That's why you can pick them up for so cheap at your local coin shop. Your local coin shop will likely just have a box or a bin or some type of container, and they'll sell them for $5 or $6 for $1, or maybe they'll sell $7 or $8 a pound. Either way, you can get a bunch of them for a couple dollars or less. So enough about the foreign coins until the end of the video. Of course, let's get into the 1989 Denver Mint. So the mintages on the 1989 Denver Mint are surprisingly high, especially compared to the previous years. So 1989 at the Denver Mint, we saw 896 million of them that were produced at the Denver Mint in 1989. Now, to get a number that high, above 869, you have to go all the way back to 1967. So 1967, we had 1.5 billion, and then you fast forward all the way till 1989 at the Denver Mint, when you get back up to 896 million of them produced. 896 million at the Denver Mint. If you come across any 1980s quarter, chances are it's going to be this one right here. Now, the Cherry Picker's Guide does have one documented error for the 1989 Denver Mint. It is a repunched mint mark. So on that, the description of the secondary D is west of the primary D. So what that means right here is if you get yours under a microscope or a magnifying glass and you see another kind of D that's located just west of this D right here, that would be known as a repunched mint mark error. And the Cherry Picker's Guide has a price of that for Mint State 66 at $50. Now, when we're looking at the Pcgs price guide for the 1989 Denver Mint, you might have guessed it by the fact that there are 896 million of these produced, but the values of them are very low. You need to get up into the Mint State 66 or 67 for it to even be worth getting your coin graded. Now, there are some ways that you can get Mint State 66s and 67. If you get a Mint State 67, you can flip it around, and Pcgs has a price guide for those at $1,050. Now, how you would find those, you're not going to find them by just picking through pocket change. That'd be very unlikely. But maybe your grandfather or your grandmother has some uncirculated rolls from the 1980s. Maybe your local coin shop, like we were talking about earlier, has some rolls from 1980. Buy a roll. You'll have to pay a little bit of a premium for it, but if you can turn one around and sell one individual and get it graded and sell it for a Mint State 66 or Mint State 67, then you would get a serious return on your investment. So you got to kind of think like that. They're not the fanciest coins out there, the 1980s Washington quarters, but if you flip them, you can buy more nicer coins, more exciting coins. Imagine all the foreign coins you could buy if you found a Mint State 67 Washington quarter out of a uncirculated roll, got it graded by Pcgs, put it up on eBay, sold it for $1,000. You can buy the whole entire foreign coin bin at your local coin shop for a couple of years probably. Now, the reverse of this coin, nothing special right here. The mint mark is on the front of the coin. That's because made after 1968. 1968 is when they moved all the mint marks to the front of the coin. If you've got yours from prior to 1968, it will be on the reverse for the Washington quarters. Now let's bring in these two foreign coins right here. As I mentioned at the top of the video, they are both from the Bahamas, and they are both the 1 cent coin. So let's talk about the big one first. The big one, this one right here, was made from 1966 until 1969. So a very short run to this Bahamas 1 cent coin. The metal content of this is nickel and brass. There are 7 million of these made in 1966. 1968, there are 800,000. 1969, there are 4 million. In 1969, there were also 10,000 proof coins. So the interesting fact that there are less than 1 million of these made. I hardly ever come across coins in which they made less than 1 million. So rather special for me to get this one right here. Now we flip it over to this side. This side right here, it features Queen Elizabeth. We see Queen Elizabeth II on the left side, Bahamas Islands on the right side. Now let's swing into the video. This coin right here, we'll put them side by side a little bit as we talk about this one right here. So the one on the right was made from 2009 until 2015. Well, actually the one I've got right here is dated 2006, so I'm gonna have to rewind a little bit, but it has the same exact design as the model that I'm reading to you the description of. So we see on the obverse, we see the coat of arms of Bahamas. So Queen Elizabeth II got the boot from this 1 cent coin right here. And then on the reverse, we have the starfish. So similar starfish design for both of these 1 cent reverse coins right here. Now the metal content of this one right here is copper plated zinc. Now zinc is a much cheaper metal than the one that we're looking at right here, which is nickel and brass. So we went from nickel and brass to copper plated zinc. It only has a weight of 1.7 grams. That's particularly low, especially when you compare it to a United States penny that has a weight of 3.11 grams. All right, so let's recap about the 1989 Washington quarter, and then I'll sign off for the video. So 1989, unfortunately the 1980s didn't bring us anything too special. Unlike the 1960s that brought us silver, the 70s brought us bicentennial coins, the 90s brought us the state quarters, the 1980s, nothing much going on in the 1980s. The highest year of production is going to be this one right here, the 1989 Denver Mint Washington quarter. Now the low years of production didn't get that low either. The lowest year of production is 1982 at the Denver Mint, in which there are 480 million of them produced. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for today's video. If you are into coin collecting, please do check out some of the other videos on this channel. I'll do my best to get these regular coin videos up, and especially some foreign coins, because I know people are liking those. So thank you very much. Enjoy, and best of luck coin collecting out there. Take care.